Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon to all our 12 Monarchs out there in Monarch Nation. On behalf of myself and all our meteorites here today, we want to wish you a happy Labor Day. I thought that was a good line. Meteorites? Scott?
I've just landed.
Great to have you all here. We're in a good mood coming off a 38-34 win over Eastern Michigan on Saturday. That puts our record at 1-0 and critical to get a road win. Road wins in college football are hard to come by, particularly the opener when it's new. Both teams are new. There's a lot of things that happen that you didn't expect to happen within the game. So really excited to get that win. Also very pleased with the fact that we were down 14 in the first half. We were down 14 early in the second half, and we just kept finding a way to battle back. A real credit to the assistant coaches and players staying focused. Our kids did a nice job of processing the information, the adjustments. I'll give Chris Creighton and Eastern Michigan a lot of credit. That is a much better football team than we played at here last year. Much improved team. There were a lot of adjustments going on in this game because there were a lot of new things they did that we didn't quite expect. I was also very pleased with our execution in the 2-minute drill, both sides of the ball. Offensively, we scored. In the drill, we were in the hurry-up phase at the end of the game, scored the touchdown to take the lead, and then our defense had to execute in the 2-minute drill. We got the big interception by Tim Ward to seal the game. So both sides of the ball were able to perform well when it counted at the end of the game. We had 53 of the 70 players that traveled played this weekend, and 20 of the 53 were playing their first ever snap of college football. So to have that much newness on the team, to have that number of players, that takes me back to 2009 in terms of a high number of players playing their first ever college football game, and they executed well, they learned from it, and we'll keep getting better as a team. Special teams wise, overall was a solid performance. Reed Boos, who joined us in preseason camp as our long snapper, had a really good day. Just one snap that was a little bit high, but I was excited with his start in special teams. Both Ziffer and Servi punted the ball well in this game. That was a phase that we weren't very good at last year, but between the combination of Servi with the regular punt, Ziffer with the rugby punt, solid performance. Kickoff return, had 2 really good returns out of Zach Pascal. Both of them, he almost got them out, so that was good to see. That was an area that we'd struggled at last year. And then punt return, Marquise Little in there replacing Antonio Vaughn. He had a real big return early in the game. Just one more block, and he might have taken that thing 90 yards. So very encouraged with the special teams. We had a solid performance out of the defense at the end of the game. We really struggled the first 3 quarters of this football game, and as much of it was the newness, the scheme that Eastern Michigan ran, we were just trying to hang on in the first half. You know, we did well to only allow 17 points in the first half. That big interception by Aaron Young really helped settle us down and get us some momentum back on defense. 3 turnovers overall. The sack by Malik Johnson caused fumble that O'Shane Zimenez recovered, and then the interception I mentioned at the end of the game with Tim Ward. So to get 3 turnovers from a defense that didn't get many last year was an encouraging first sign. TJ Ricks led us with 14 tackles, and TJ'd be the first to tell you that wasn't his best game. There were some things early on that he missed gap responsibilities, a couple tackles, but really proud of TJ. He played like a warrior. He played a lot of snaps for us, made a lot of tackles. Aaron Young, I mentioned, at corner, had the big interception, a pass breakup, but Aaron also had 10 tackles. And a lot of those, when you play corner, are the ones that you've got to make to save points. So I was proud of Aaron in his first career start. Falante Misher, 8 tackles, and Falante played as good a football as he's played here the last drive of the game. Probably as good a safety play as we've had in one drive. When they were driving to try to win the football game, he had 3 pass breakups on the last drive. He had 2 open field tackles that were critical, and then he had 2 big hits when their kids had the hand on the ball, and he came up and delivered the wood, as our guys like to say. But that's as good a safety safety play as I've seen in one segment of a game, and he did it in a game that he played 85 snaps of football, which is probably too much. He didn't want to come out, didn't want to come off the field, and that was really impressive to see the way he ended the game. Malik Johnson, I mentioned earlier, had 8 tackles in this game, the sack, the forced fumble. That's the best football he's played. Oshane Ximines played a solid game for his first one. He's really disappointed in how he played, but he had a big sack and then the fumble recovery. And then Tim Ward played 42 snaps of football in his first game, made the play of the game at the end of the game. And I should also mention Miles Fox, defensive tackle, playing his first college football game as a true freshman, played 26 snaps, and he had a huge play in this game on a 3rd and goal at the 1-yard line. He beat the tackle, beat the fullback, and tackled the running back to force a field goal out of them. That was a huge momentum play for us. So really excited overall with the younger guys, and I know we're going to get a lot better on defense. Offensively, the best part about the day was 0 turnovers and 0 penalties. There wasn't anything negatively that the guys did from a turnover penalty standpoint. The only thing we were a little disappointed in, we had the 2 bad snaps out of Tyler Compton that stopped 2 of our drives, and we replaced Tyler at center with Nick Clark, who played his first college football game and played 61 snaps. He played pretty much from the second quarter the rest of the game and played a very good football game. Tyler went back in the game at guard, played solid for us there, but really impressed with what Nick Clark did up front. Obviously, the story of the game is Ray Lowry, the 28 carries, 223 yards, 4 touchdowns. That was a very impressive performance. His vision, the way he saw the holes, the way he set up the blocks for the offensive line, was great performance by Ray. I was also really pleased with Jeremy Cox, true freshman, played or had 7 carries for 35 yards. His first college football game. Very excited about that 1-2 punch. That's really going to help us because Ray's not going to be able to consistently carry the ball 30 times a game, and it was good to see Jeremy have a solid performance, just like Ray last year as a freshman, getting aligned properly, understanding the protections, all those things that are new to a true freshman. He's got work to do to grow there, but I'm confident he will. I thought the quarterback, Shula Bentley, played a solid football game. As I mentioned, he didn't turn the ball over. He was outstanding with the operation. He checked protections. He checked run plays. He got us in the right protection versus blitz, and did a very good job protecting the ball, and in his first college football game leads us in a 2-minute drive to win a football game. So pleased with Taylor. The offensive line much better in the second half than the first. We had to make a couple adjustments, a couple things we needed to do better, but we had only run the ball for 70 yards in the first half and then really turned it on in the second half. Overall on offense, we had 6 guys play their first snaps of football. I mentioned Jeremy Cox, and then also Keyshawn Strong was the other true freshman that played. He didn't get in at running back, but he played on special teams. But Keyshawn Strong will be playing running back this year. He's gotten better and better at practice. So overall, 20 guys, as I mentioned, played their first snaps in this one, and I'm encouraged with where we can take this as a football team. I said before the season, I don't think we'll be as good a football team in this first month as we will when we get to the middle or latter part of the season. It's just going to take us a minute to grow up, but really encouraged with their attitude coming back yesterday. They were happy they won, but they really wanted to watch the video because they all felt as a team they didn't perform as well as they could, and that's from a head coaching standpoint. That's encouraging. Excited to be back home this weekend, back to SB Ballard Stadium for a sold-out home opener. This week's opponent, Norfolk State, is a team we've had a couple good football games with. Won against them here in the playoffs 2 years ago. We had to kick a field goal with no time left to win the football game, so I know they'll be excited to play. Latrell Scott's a good football coach. I don't have any doubt in my mind he'll get that program moving forward in a positive way. Tough opener for them up against a good football team out of the Big Ten and Rutgers. They played well early. They jumped on them early, did some really good things, so I expect the same here. Greg Hankerson, their quarterback, had a really solid game. He was 18 for 28, 199 yards, transferred from FAU. He's a good football player. Gerard Johnson, running back, who transferred from here, is a good player. And then defensively, I think they've got one of the best linebackers that we'll see this year in Deion King. He's a heck of a football player. He had 12 tackles in that game. Plays sideline to sideline. He's physical, just a really good player. So we'll have to play well this weekend in the home opener to get the win. And I'll take questions.
Coach, the Saturday could have gone the other way pretty easily. Tight. How important is it that it didn't, and that you got to win in the first game of the season?
It's absolutely critical to win the home opener. As I told the players, that's one win closer to the goals that we've set for the season. So, and particularly, Scott, to get it on the road. It is hard to win on the road in FBS. I don't care who you're playing, where you're going. It's tough to win. So, to win the home opener was big for this program.
One of the cliches is the biggest improvement teams make is from the first week to the second. You see that? If that's true, what are you expecting your improvements to be?
Yeah, I do believe you can make improvements from week 1 to 2 as long as the players buy into that. And the biggest reason I think you make improvements is if you've got a younger football team or inexperienced players like we do. I mean, we've got 20 guys that just played for the first time, and collectively those 20 guys just kind of exhaled and went, okay, I can do this. And now you can talk to them more about, this is why we do this in practice. This is why we work this drill, because of what happened to you Saturday in the game. And there's more of a connection now. They can put it together, why they need to practice certain things, how to study video, all those type of things. So I believe in that theory, the week 1 to week 2 improvement, as long as the players see what they need to improve on.
You've played Norfolk State a couple times now. Is there extra juice in this game?
Yeah, I think there is, from the standpoint of, we're both representing Norfolk. We're both representing the city of Norfolk. That adds to the game. Hopefully it adds to it from a fan standpoint. This is a game I like to play. I hope we can continue playing this game in the future, because I do believe it's a good game for the city. I think it brings the two schools together. The fact that we're going to play them in basketball now, I think that's a good thing, and hopefully that works for other sports too. I hope Old Dominion and Norfolk State can keep playing a football game, but it definitely adds to the energy level playing this game against Norfolk State, just like I felt like it added to the energy level last year when we played Hampton, another team from this region. So I'm looking forward to it. I'm excited about the game.
What difference does it make now playing against Latrell Scott? I mean, you probably knew all Pete Adrian's tendencies, but what difference does it make now?
Yeah, the biggest difference between the two of them is Pete Adrian was had cut his teeth on defense, where Latrell is more offense. And I could already see it watching the Rutgers game. I could see what Latrell's doing. It's similar to what he's done at his other places, and that they're going to be good on offense. I don't think that 13 points against Rutgers is a reflection of who they're going to be. He's set a goal that they're going to start scoring 30 points a game, and would not surprise me if during this year he gets to that. He's got a good quarterback, he's got a good running back, he's got good skilled players. So that's the biggest difference between a Pete Adrian team and a Latrell Scott team. Pete Adrian, he's going to focus on his defense. And what makes this team more dangerous is they've got a pretty good defense. I mentioned Deion King. There's some good football players on that defensive side. There's a lot of good local football players on that side. So I expect their improvement will be significant from that Rutgers game to our game.
You talked about it a little bit in your intro, just how great it is to be back home for your home opener. Talk about that.
Yeah, I love to brag on the fact that we've had 41 home games and they've all been sold out. And that we do occasionally mention, Harry, that we're the only team in the history of college football to sell out every home game we've ever played. I think that's special. I mean, nobody else can say that. We can say it, and I'm pretty sure all 7 of our home games will be, or I hope they will, be sold out this year. I know this one is. It's sold out for Saturday. So that's something, Scott, not only for the fans, but for all the kids that sit in this room. When you're a player that's special. And when we went to Eastern Michigan, there were a lot of empty seats out there in that stadium. You almost have to create your own atmosphere. Whereas when we come home and we run through that tunnel at SB Ballard, the atmosphere is there.
Any other questions for Coach?
Bobby, can you talk a little bit about your personal relationship with Luttrell, professionally and personally? You've known him a long time. I know you were happy when he got the job.
I was really excited for him because he went through a difficult situation at Richmond, one that he's owned up to. That he put himself in that situation, and I thought he was a stand-up guy about it, what he did, and then he had to work his way back here. He went to James Madison. We stayed in touch when he was coaching at James Madison. He coached against us in 2012 when we played up at JMU, and he had to step back and take a long look at himself, what he was doing, and he unfortunately put himself in a situation that I think a lot of people have been in. A lot of people have put themselves in, and he paid for it. He paid dearly for it. But I called him as soon as I knew he got the job. We talked actually before it was announced, and he knew he was going to get it, and was excited for him. Told him to reach out to me if there was anything I could do to help him. He started right away with, you can help me by sending over some of your players, which has worked out. I mean, Gerard Johnson and Sandy Chapman are over there now, which I'm worried about those two this weekend. Those are good football players. I don't think it's going to take him long, Harry, to get that really going well over there, and I thought Pete Adrian did a good job there. If they'd had a little more offense when Pete was there, they'd have won a lot of championships, because that was a championship defense when Pete was there. But I think Luttrell, he'll recruit well. He'll rally the campus. He's a very energetic person who's got a good way about himself, and they're going to win some football games. Hopefully not starting this Saturday, but I think they're going to win a lot of football games there with him as a head coach.
Anything else for Coach?
All right, thank you all for coming. We'll look forward to seeing you at SB Ballard Stadium Saturday night.